Hey, Pat. You hear that? That's just me.
That's
That's
so
just me.
distracting, man.
That's just me tapping on the glass. I'm just trying to make sure you're not distracted and you're ready to go for the scientific method, man. You locked in?
Man, I can't focus. That's so distracting, man. I
Oh
don't know how
no.
I'm going to be able to do my job with you actually watching me do my job.
Oh
And,
no.
like me getting paid for you to watch me do my job. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Distracting. You got to
I,
stop that.
okay. All right. No more No more. All right. All right. It is what it is, man. Let's just get to the football, I guess. But good morning, bro. How you doing on this Friday, man?
And, man, I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm healthy, man. How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to kind of turn the page from the bye week, get rid of that nasty taste from week 6 for the Cowboys, and hopefully they can go up to Santa Clara and get this dub, brother.
Yeah, man. That's the hope. And, I mean, they're going up against a 49ers team that is as banged up. I'm not even going to say banged up. They're both ravaged by injury. Let's just put it that way. They are both absolutely ravaged by injury. Cowboys had lost another one, and this one is season ending in John Stevens Jr. And, in Wednesday's practice as he was preparing for the 49ers. And he's yet to make his NFL debut. And word around the building had it going into Wednesday of this week that this might have been it for him, that the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer, they had an idea of building him up this week so that he could possibly and likely make his debut against the 49ers. And what happens, he goes down with another torn ACL, or I should say a re-torn ACL, because it's the same one he tore before his rookie season. So, 2 ACL tears of the same ACL within, what are we talking, 17, not even 17, 14 months, a 14-month span. So, all I can do is give prayers and positive energy to the young man, talented young guy, but he's got another long road ahead of him, and hopefully we'll see him in 2025. But as you know, Will, the thing about ACLs, once they tear twice, they don't necessarily get stronger from that point forward. So fingers crossed for him, man. But for those that are or do have the chance to take the field, they're not necessarily trending in the right direction either. DaRon Bland, he had 2 full practices once the Cowboys activated his practice window, and he was close to playing against the Lions, and he experienced some soreness on that Friday practice, and they basically shut that down and was like, you know what, it's not worth it. We had the bye week. Let's get him more rest, more rehab, more recovery. And then coming out of that, you would have thought that he would have been back to practice, but, did not participate Wednesday, did not participate Thursday. So, Jerry Jones said it's a game-time decision. As we have this conversation, it's not looking good.
No.
It's not looking good.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons.
Can I stay on the Bland one there for a second? Because that one concerns me greatly because of the nature of the injury is the one that, speaking with one of our doctors, that could linger a little bit. And it sounds like that's exactly what's happening. And I just, I hate to be a wet blanket here, but I don't feel confident that even when he gets out there, it's not going to be sore to where it could hamper his ability. And that concerns me greatly.
I think that's a justifiable concern at this point because, if you look at when the injury occurred, how much time has passed from the surgery being done, and it wasn't a devastating injury or anything like that. It was a stress fracture in his foot, so nothing major, quote unquote. So you would like to believe that he'd be fully healthy and fully ready to go. And now he's up against his clock as well because that 21-day window expires on Wednesday. I think that's the 30th. Is Wednesday the 30th? Yeah. So it expires next Wednesday. So they have to make a decision. Either they're going to put him on the active roster on Wednesday or he has to revert to season-ending IR. And I'm of the belief that they'll put him on the active roster. But to your point, in doing that to avoid him going on season-ending IR and possibly getting 100% like in November, but now you can't use him because he's on season-ending IR. I get the math there, but if you put him out there, let's say against the Falcons, what version of DaRon Bland do you get? Now the conversation goes, it moves from, how quickly can he get the rust off to, okay, well now you're dealing with rust and a possible downgrade in play because he's still kind of dealing with it. So, yeah, you're not wrong in having that thought process. I have the same thought process. But all we can do is wait and watch and see what happens there.
Who we got that's also participating that you think has a shot, and then those who looks like it's not happening for them?
Well, keeping to the other headliners, since we're talking headliners with DaRon Bland, Micah Parsons, he has not participated in yesterday's practice, nor has he participated in Wednesday's practice the day before. That's the bad news. The good news is he's not limping anymore. So that's big, because not 2 weeks ago when he was out on the field doing rehab with Britt Brown, man, you think that he was Captain Hook and that leg was made of wood. Like, he was not looking good. So to go from that to yesterday, he was not limping. And kind of a funny sidebar, I went to the Texas State Fair. I told the story on Talking Cowboys. I went to the Texas State Fair last Thursday, and I'm sitting there, I'm ordering my turkey leg, and I look over to the right, and who do I see but Micah Parsons, like, walking toward me. It was him and his family, and he was carrying his daughter, and he wasn't limping at the Texas State Fair either. And anybody who's been to the Texas State Fair knows that's a lot of ground to cover, right? So if your ankle is really killing you, I'm not saying it wasn't hurt, but if it's killing you, then you're not walking around the Texas State Fair carrying your child. So I say all of that to say he is definitely making progress. Will it be enough progress to get on the field on Sunday? I think it's possible, but for him, unlike DaRon Bland, who's trending in the wrong direction, I think Micah has to practice today and maybe tomorrow to have a real chance of getting on the field. But we'll see. But right now, it doesn't necessarily look like he or Bland will be in play. Brandon Aubrey is still trying to help decide if somebody's guilty in Fort Worth. So he missed his second practice with jury duty. But he is, per Mike McCarthy, he's getting his kicks in once court closes for the day. So he comes into the building and he gets his practice kicks in. And the expectation is he's traveling with the team and that he will be on the field, which is great news because he is their biggest and, dare I say right now, only weapon to this point. So they kind of need him. Nick Vigil took a step back, was downgraded from limited to did not participate with a foot issue. He's still dealing with some things. But here's some more good news. EK, let's talk Eric Kendricks. All right, so Eric Kendricks, which I believe is going to be a huge determinant in the outcome of this game. He missed last game because of a calf and shoulder injury. Those that follow the injury report, which means you follow me on Twitter, good stuff, will notice that the calf designation has been removed. So he's only nursing the shoulder injury, so he's getting healthier, and he has participated in both practices this week, albeit limited, but he's back at practice, so he's trending in the right direction. For the most part, everyone else is trending well. Kalen Carson, he's had 2 full practices. He's still working to get medically cleared to take the field. He tells me when I had a conversation with him Wednesday after practice, he told me he's about 75-80% as far as getting cleared goes, but he said he feels perfectly fine to play, but he's waiting for the training staff to clear him. Other than that, like I said, both teams are ravaged. I mean, we could go down the injury report for the 49ers, but just trust me, it's a lot of big names, and, CMC is going to be out, and Jawan Jennings, we don't know if he'll play. Brandon Ayuk is out for the season. Sounds like Deebo Samuel will play as he recovers from pneumonia, as wild as that sounds. But, I mean, both teams are up against it, and it's 4-3. I'm sorry, 3-4 against 3-3. Both teams absolutely need to win. May the team that wants it most take the dub.
Indeed, that was the injury report brought to you by OSMI, who provides arthroscopic and robotic-assisted orthopedic surgery, foot and ankle surgery, sports medicine, physical therapy, and a whole bunch more for you guys. They have a team of doctors and specialists in Fort Worth, Decatur, Mansfield, and they provide state-of-the-art care to the North Texas area. If you missed me and Dr. Boothby sit down where we spoke on some of these injuries, please go back and watch it. I believe it was posted earlier this week. So make sure y'all check that out or check out osmifw.com. Pat, before we get you up out of here, man, again, we talked about this being a big game, road game where the Cowboys are 3-0. I want to know, what are you watching for on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys?
On the defensive side for the Cowboys, I need to know if they can get pressure against Brock Purdy. I need to see it. It needs to happen. You may or may not have Micah Parsons on the field. You will not have DeMarcus Lawrence on the field. You will not have Marshawn Nealon or Sam Williams on the field. Can you generate pressure? Can Chauncey Golston and Tyrus Sweet and Carl Lawson and KJ Henry, as he starts to ramp up, can they generate pressure? And that's going to be key for a couple reasons. One, without Brandon Ayuk and some of these other weapons like CMC to dump the ball off to, Brock Purdy is playing average football right now. He has 7 interceptions to only 9 touchdowns. I spoke with Jordan Lewis yesterday, and I asked him, I said, hey, so what are you seeing on film that that differentiates Brock Purdy of 2024 versus 2023? And he said he's getting off of his spot too quickly. And he didn't use the word panic, but in my head, I'm saying it seems like Brock Purdy is panicking because he's being pressured so much. He's sacked 13 times already through the first 7 games. If the Cowboys can have Purdy anxious and get into his personal space and rush him off his spot without him having those weapons to dump the ball off too quickly like CMC or get downfield consistently to like Brandon Ayuk, does that give opportunities for a guy like Trevon Diggs and Jordan Lewis to make plays in the absence of DaRon Bland? So might we see an interception and or a pick six from one of these guys? Opportunities are going to be there, but starts up front, got to get pressure on Purdy. Flipping to the offensive side of the ball, CeeDee Lamb. I've been on this for the past 2 weeks. I'm going to stay on this until further notice. CeeDee Lamb is him. He is unequivocally him for this offense. And until CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott get on the same page and Lamb is dominating for 4 consecutive quarters, this offense is going to continue to stall. You want to see the run offense take off? Cool, I'm with you, but they got to block better up front. But another way to get the rushing attack going is for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott to start torching these defenses in the air. That's going to force guys that's going to force teams to account for them, and that's going to open up the run game as well. So there's more than one way to open up the run game. Either you have a dominant O-line and or you have a dominant running back and or you have a wide receiver or a core wide receivers and an elite quarterback who can punish you in the air and make you forget about the run, then taking advantage of the run thereafter. So those are going to be my key matchups there.
Hey, quickly, is there any word on Dalvin Cook and this week being the week, or are we kind of still with the same situation the previous 6 weeks?
You know, I hesitate to say that this week is the week. Hold on, really quick sidebar. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, hey, Dak, watch out for Fred Warner. That guy, remember that guy? Okay. So that's another key matchup for me. Dak Prescott versus Fred Warner. Keep an eye on that. So, yeah. Dalvin Cook. Okay, so I hesitate to say that this is the week because, let's be real, man, who knows? Who knows other than, the coaching staff and the ownership? And they don't really make that decision until Saturday, late Friday afternoon, evening, because the elevations are due on Saturday. So won't know definitively until tomorrow, but I will say that I've heard rumors, and you can take this however you want. I've heard rumors within the building, as I sit here in the building, that Dalvin Cook has been taking some first-team reps in practice. So I have been told that, and I don't know what I don't know what the amount of those first-team reps look like as far as, is it enough to say, oh, he's definitely trending toward or not trending toward. All I can tell you is what I've heard, and it's from a credible situation. So he has taken some first-team reps in practice. So I think that of any week, and I'm going to qualify this correctly, so if you're going to quote me, folks, make sure you quote me the right way. Of any of the previous weeks that Dalvin Cook has been with the team, I think this week is the most likely week for it to happen if it's going to happen. That's my quote.
Hey, man. Quote him. Put it out there. This is the week. No, I'm just playing. We're going to see. We're going to see if this is the week. We're going to see if this is the week.
Hey, this week it sounds like, based on the conversations I'm having, it sounds like this is the best shot that he's had thus far to possibly being elevated for the game. That's the best I can tell you. That does not mean that he will be, but it looks better than it has looked over the past 7 weeks. That's where we are.
Pat, we just looking for anything on the ground game. So whatever we can get, bro. Whatever we can get.
That. But I tell you what, Dalvin Cook doesn't rush the passer. So
no, there's a lot of other things, issues that are there too. But I'm gonna let you get going, man. That's Patrick No C Walker of DallasCowboys.com for this week's version of the Scientific Method. Appreciate you, big bro.
All right, man. Let me go and watch these tours.